It's literally so cringy. Oh my gosh. I feel like I look like my parents' grandparents. Oh my goodness. This is hilarious. Okay, great. I think we're good. This is actually not to cover up the fact that I'm filming 2 videos in one day. Hashtag shameless. I really don't care. But I'm really just freezing and I'm sitting on the floor filming this. So I'm cold. And to combat that, I just thought that this would be the move. I love it and I feel warm and that's all that matters. So let's just get into it. Okay, let's just get into it. I'm gonna try to do this without feeling and looking the absolute most ridiculous. So if you could just ignore the fact that the sheep is on me, then I think we'll be fine. Also, this is not really sheep. This is just a soft blanket. Faux. Very faux. But recently, I've been low-key triggered a little bit because, you know, when you start learning more about a topic, and whether it be in school or like university or whatever the case may be, when you know more about something, you start noticing more of the misconstrued information about that topic in public or in the media or whatever have you. And that's kind of what's been happening with me. That's been triggering me a little bit. So like after going to school and learning about skin so much and understanding it so much better now, and I mean doing as much research as I have, because I'm so passionate about skin and I love it so much. I mean, you guys have only seen like the makeup-y stuff, but I really love skin. I just get a little triggered when there's so much misinformation out there. And I mean, a lot of beauty companies, just the beauty industry in general, perpetuate this, and they don't really seem to back anything up with scientific proof or evidence or studies. So it's just a little annoying when you have all these like beauty gurus and these beauty ambassadors and brands and just people in general, beauty magazines, like everybody, they just keep saying the same thing over and over and over, and then people, you know, because they're hearing it from all these different outlets, they're just taking it as fact, when in reality everyone's just saying the same nonsense that is not backed by any evidence. You just repeating something that someone told you because you think it's correct and it's not. And honestly, I think it's just that people, they genuinely don't know any better, and you can't blame them for that, because not everyone has access to dermatologists or just doctors in general that they can ask questions to. Maybe the only people they have are whoever they follow on social media, or maybe when they go into department stores, you know, they expect that the people there at the counters, the skincare professionals that are selling these products, should know better. And I mean, honestly, if I was just like, I've been in this beauty industry for a while now, and that doesn't mean jack, honestly. That does not make you any kind of expert, to be very clear, because you could be in this game for 20 plus years, but that doesn't mean you know anything about skin. That does not mean you know anything about ingredients. That doesn't mean you know anything, period. Honestly, you just know how to sell a product. That's really all it boils down to, unfortunately. And personally, if I was going off of information told to me that was presented at these meetings that we have, brand meetings and stuff, team meetings, if I was just going off of that and I knew nothing about skin and I'm just going with the sound bites that were given, I would be spewing so much trash out into the world. Like, the amount of misinformation I'd be presenting to consumers is just out of control. And I think companies just do this because, I mean, one, they just go off of what sells, and then two, everyone is kind of going with trends, whether or not anything is evidence-based. They're just going with the trends. So everybody talks about this in a magazine. Now we gotta like make a product like that, or we gotta make a dupe. We gotta do something, and everything is about making money, basically. So they're just gonna like throw all this stuff down your throat, but really they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about. I kind of want to start doing more skincare based videos. So whether that be talking about certain ingredients, or whether that be just kind of diving into certain aspects of like a skincare routine or like certain treatments and stuff, and kind of debunking myths and going with more of what is scientifically proven and sound versus what the trends are reporting on this particular topic or ingredient or product or what have you. That was a lot to say. That was a mouthful. So yeah, I mean, I love makeup, and makeup is fantastic, but I love skin. I'm extremely passionate about it. It's my career at this point in my life. I've gone to school and I've learned so much more now, and I'm constantly reaching out to dermatologists and skincare professionals and getting various opinions, and I'm like a sponge. I just want to soak it all up. The more I can learn, the better. I don't think I'll ever know everything, and I don't want to know everything. I just want to just keep learning, basically. And along the way, I would love to share as much information as I can with you guys, with the public in general, because I there's just so much misinformation that it's crazy, and sometimes you can't even tell people, like, hey, go look this up yourself, because all you'll see are like articles from Allure or whoever else, I don't know, all these magazines and these websites like saying all the wrong information. So sometimes it's hard to even just say, well, look it up yourself, because you really can't. So for today's video, I actually just want to kind of talk about something specific, and because it's been low-key triggering me a little bit, I want to talk about silicone and products. So sorry about that whole like 500 minutes of your life that you won't get back that I just wasted, sorry. But all of that is to just say, let's dive into today's video, and that's going to be talking about silicone. Yeah, I've been seeing more and more videos talking about silicone recently, and I don't know if that's genuinely because people are talking about it, or it's because I saw a couple videos and then now my entire recommendation and suggestion box is just filled with, it's silicone bad, it's silicone good, it's silicone bad, it's silicone good. So I really don't know what it is, but let's just talk about it because I've been seeing it a lot and I'm triggered. I think silicone, just the word silicone, it's so broad. It refers to so many different things because there are so many derivatives of silicone. There are literally thousands of different types of silicone. So a lot of times people will just say, well, silicone is bad. Okay, like what silicone you're talking about? You're talking about silicone that they use in like the medical industry, the automotive industry, the beauty industry. Like, what are you talking about? Because the same silicone they use to like coat a tube that you get that they shove down your throat is not the same silicone that they're gonna put in your moisturizer. You know what I mean? So there are thousands of silicones, basically silicone derivatives. So I think people just need to stop saying silicone and like literally name the type of silicone you're talking about. Felicia, tell me why it's bad. Tell me why it's bad for me. What did it do to you? Tell me why it hurt you. Who hurt you, Felicia? I just want to focus on like the silicones that we use for this video, that we use in like skincare, makeup, basically the beauty industry. I'm not too concerned like in the medical and the automotive and like every other branch of life. We're just going to focus on the beauty stuff. Silicones are these colorless, odorless, non-toxic oily substances. By definition, they are non-toxic, even though the magazines be saying they're toxic. No, girl, they're not. They are non-toxic. And they're mainly used as emollients in skincare products, also makeup products too. But yeah, they're primarily used as kind of an emollient, sometimes as a corresponding occlusive to a humectant. Now, what does that mean? If an ingredient is an emollient, it just pretty much softens the top layer of your skin, which can also help with like blurring pores and stuff. That's kind of in very basic terms what it means. And if something is occlusive, not with an E, with an O, I know I say like occlusive, whatever. If an ingredient is occlusive, that means that it is able to retard water loss. So transepidermal water loss is something that affects everybody, and it's kind of one of the main reasons that we lose a lot of that moisture from the skin, and you start to form wrinkles and dryness, dehydration, like all of the above, because you're not sealing in the moisture. Also, a humectant is an ingredient that draws moisture. So like hyaluronic acid, for example, it's the most used humectant in products today. That means it can draw moisture from the deeper layers of the skin, as well as the air if it's humid enough, in theory. So silicones, mainly dimethicone is one of the main ones that everyone sees in all of their skincare and like sometimes their makeup and stuff, in primers, for example. That is a little bit occlusive, and it can slow down transepidermal water loss, or TEWL, TEWL. So it's fantastic when incorporated into skincare, actually. It's not that awful. It can also be used in formulas as a degreasing agent, because when mixed with the sebum that we naturally produce, oh, sorry, my lashes are sticking, it can basically just make the skin appear less shiny, which is, for most people, like, you know, that matte look or that soft matte finish. You don't want to feel like you're frying chicken on your face. I don't. I'm oily as is. Like, no, I don't need that. So yeah, silicones can kind of play a part in helping to kind of cut that greasy feeling and look to the skin, which can also be wonderful. The myth that is out there is that silicones are really heavy and weigh down the skin. Oh my goodness. Silicones that are used in skincare and your makeup, they are so lightweight. That's actually why they're used most of the time. They are so lightweight. And like I said earlier, they also can smooth and kind of even out like the texture and that top layer of skin. So to say that it's this like extremely heavy product and ingredient in skincare and in makeup is just a false statement. My gosh, look at the molecular structure. Jesus. It says it all. People, they like to say that it's this heavy substance and it is really thick on the skin and products aren't able to penetrate when you use it, like all this mess. Girl. The molecular structure of these silicones that we use in skincare, like these derivatives, in very, very, very simple terms, I'm not a chemist, but just super simple, they are larger molecules with these like wide spaces in between. It forms this permeable barrier on your skin. So the idea that when you use your like moisturizer or your serum that contains dimethicone, for example, that the other ingredients in there are not able to penetrate the skin and work so well and yada yada yada, like that's just not true. Felicia, did you even read a book before you wrote that, Felicia? Because I don't think you did, Felicia. The claim that they can suffocate the skin and like cause all these breakouts and all that stuff, like it's just not true. There have literally been zero reports to date of adverse outcomes and side effects to human health from using silicones in products. I mean, people love to say that it's gonna clog your pores and break you out. Your immune system is so unbothered by silicone derivatives that you apply to your face, like per moisturizer, lotion, makeup primer, whatever have you. It's literally like the likelihood of you developing an allergy or some kind of reaction to it is so low. Like, oh my gosh, please, it is so low. It ain't happening. So diving into the world of dimethicone and silicone breaks you out. People, dimethicone is not, just silicones in general, they're not able to like penetrate like your dermal layer, for example, which it was a misconception that a lot of people had. They're like, oh my gosh, it's clogging all your pores. I mean, it can be pore filling if you use those primers and stuff. For example, those Smashbox primers, or anything with that kind of like silicone feel, you know what I'm talking about, the pore filling one from a Benefit, for example, like it has that feeling to it. Those kinds of primers, they can, if you have enlarged pores, they can fill them in a little bit. I mean, that's not going into your dermis by any means, but it is filling in and kind of smoothing out that texture for you. But it's silicone in of itself, it's non-comedogenic, even though it is an oily substance, which people also put like silicones in like oil-free products, oil-free moisturizers and creams and stuff, when technically it is an oily substance. So to say it's oil-free and it contains like dimethicone, for example, it's like, that's kind of, but okay. It's not going to exacerbate acne, and I'm saying that specifically because I literally sat and read an article yesterday night about how dimethicone exacerbates acne, and I'm like, that's not true. It's literally not true. It can actually combat that dryness that you can get, especially if you're using those like acne creams and stuff. If you break out often, I mean, I do, and I understand the struggle, but it actually can help to combat that dryness and the irritation. So yeah, it's not exacerbating your acne. Where people tend to have an issue in terms of breaking out, I guess, so to speak, when they use products with a lot or a higher concentration of these silicones, probably mainly dimethicone, or whatever cross polymer, like, I don't know. What happens is, if you don't wash your skin properly, if you don't generally have a good skincare routine to begin with, and you're layering all these products on you. Now, mind you, dimethicone is actually it's water insoluble, meaning that it's better for retarding transepidermal water loss, like I mentioned earlier. But what ends up happening is, if you don't have a good cleansing routine that you do morning and night or whatever, I don't know, whenever you use your products that have the silicone in them, but if you're not cleansing your skin properly, obviously you're going to have that product and that gunk still stuck in your follicle. And I mean, that goes with any product though. It's not just something with dimethicone in it. It could be with any skincare product that you use. If it's all silicone free and paraben free and this free and that free, whatever have you, if you're not cleaning your face properly, you're gonna break out. The other thing is too, if you're using a product that it has already known irritants in it, for example, the main one being fragrance and sometimes botanicals, which, you know, people, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want, like, that has perfume in it, I don't want it. But then you run and buy something that has like all this essential oil. Those are so irritating for the skin, and it's been proven. Like, this isn't just, none of this is my opinion, by the way. I don't want it to come across that these are my opinions about dimethicone, these are my opinions about silicone. Everything that I'm saying is all facts. These are all proven with science. There are countless studies out there that are published that are in support of all of the statements that I'm making. By the way, I'm not just making these statements like out of my brain. Like, no, I did a lot of research on this, and it's based off of studies, not off of what I think is correct. By the way, I just wanted to mention that if that wasn't clear. At the end of the video, mention that. If you're using a product that already has these irritating ingredients, because dimethicone it has that occlusive property to it, it can trap that under your follicle, so that fragrance or whatever have you, those botanicals, that can then cause irritation. So is that dimethicone's fault? Not really. That's your fault for picking a product that has irritants in it, and the dimethicone is not irritating you. It's just your other stuff in there is irritating you, and you're blaming it on dimethicone because everyone tells you that dimethicone's breaking you out. It's like, but no, it's the other ingredients in your product that is what's causing that irritation, that inflammation, that can also lead to breakouts, a clogged follicle. If you're not cleansing the skin thoroughly to get rid of all of that gunk, then yes, you're also going to break out. So, I mean, there's tons of articles out there saying that it's so difficult to get all out of the skin, and it's like, no, just wash your skin properly, you know? It's like, sure, if you want to shower and just kind of like put the soap like that and walk out, you'll be like, oh, that soap sucked, like it didn't clean me properly. It's like, girl, you didn't scrub your skin properly. What do you mean? It's not the soap, it's you. Use your hands better. Problem though that people have with water insoluble derivatives of silicone, with hair care especially, it can tend to build up. So if you're not using a good shampoo that has a good detergent in it, or just like a good clarifying shampoo, it can tend to build up in the hair shafts, and that can lead to breakage and stuff like that if you're not cleansing it out properly. So for hair care, I would say be a little bit more careful and be really thorough also. You know, it's not just limited to your skincare products, but or your makeup. Just be really thorough, I guess, when you're cleansing out the products and stuff from your hair, so that buildup doesn't lead to, you know, future damage of your hair shaft and stuff like that. Yeah, just really quickly, just like a little kind of side note, I guess, if you have a hard time remembering, or you just want to kind of think of something easy when you're looking at an ingredient list for water insoluble derivatives of silicone, most of those are going to be your oh my gosh, I hate saying these words, polyethylene glycols, your PEGs basically. So if you see that kind of prefix, or I think PPG is the other one, I'll go online though and get like a comprehensive list of water soluble derivatives of silicone and excuse me, and the water insoluble ones, and I'll try to leave that, you know, on the screen or in the description bar down below if that makes it easier for you. But yeah, I hope I got all my points across. I was literally just trying to shed a little bit of light on, you know, silicones, their derivatives, you know, talked a lot about dimethicone and makeup and skincare, and just to share that information with you so that you are a little bit more informed and you can make informed decisions. If you still decide, you know, I don't think, you know, dimethicone and all of these silicones in my skincare and my makeup is going to be that great for me, then, you know, that's your decision, and I totally respect that. But from a scientific standpoint and perspective, it literally is not bad for you. Stop letting all these beauty gurus and all of these magazines and all of these articles, and stop letting social media tell you that silicone is bad for you with your skincare and your makeup. It's really, really not. And it's going to be really hard also, just to be very honest. It is one of the most used occlusives in the industry, an emollient as well. So to find a formula that's completely free of it, I mean, there are lines now that are like, you know, silicone free and stuff, but I mean, it's so good at what it does that that's going to be a little bit hard, and you're doing yourself an injustice. But honestly, I mean, don't listen to me. You can do whatever you want, you know, live your best life. But yeah, that is basically it. I feel a lot better. I feel lighter, and my battery is dying, so I'm gonna hurry up and shut up and go. But yeah, that is everything that I have to say. I am really excited because I have a ton more videos like this I have planned, not related to silicone, but just like other skincare things. The next one I want to do is actually all about hyaluronic acid. So let me know if you're interested in that at all, because I kind of want to go like all the way in on hyaluronic acid and all the misconceptions about it, and why people pay so much money for something that maybe it does nothing. Like, I don't know. I mean, no, hyaluronic acid does do a little bit something, but I just have like a whole video just kind of going in that planned out. Be sure to check the description box below. I think I'll go ahead and try to link as much information as I can down there. Maybe I'll put some references in there as well if anybody cares about that stuff, references to studies and whatnot. And yeah, just let me know what you want to see in the future, and if you're liking like skincare based stuff, because I think a lot of people now are a little bit more into taking care of their skin than they are about only makeup. You know, the base is important. You know, everything you put over it is gonna look good, but if you're not taking care of your foundation and it's not laid properly, then everything you put over top is gonna crumble, honey. Just saying. Oh my gosh, do all the fun stuff, you know, like, subscribe, share with your friends, your enemies, whoever. I don't know how this works anymore, but yeah, let me know down in the comments what you want to see, and I will be sure to maybe consider it. Yeah. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully, whenever that is that I film it. You know how this goes with me. I'm a busy gal. I ain't got time for nothing. Besitos.